I'm not a leftist, I'm a liberal, and we should just talk to each other. Okay, but what are we going to talk about? Because you don't want to talk to people like me. You don't want to talk to anybody who's got anything to say. You want to talk to Jewy Jewstein, who says,
Got a lot of questions about Israel in the last week.
Yeah.
Apologize for my defense of our greatest ally in the Middle East.
Yeah.
I will not apologize.
We know you won't,
for the fact
bitch.
that my defense of
Epic,
Israel against
epic.
shut up, you bitch. This guy's the biggest scum-sucking, anti-American loser, traitor.
Who likes Cardi B? 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 Who likes Cardi B?
He's mad. He's mad. Look at that shriveled up little face.
Who likes Cardi B? Who likes
Eat
Cardi
a
B?
gamer moment.
SK14 gang.
in the last week.
Yeah.
Apologize for my defense of our greatest ally in the Middle East.
Yeah.
I will not apologize.
We know you won't,
for the fact
bitch.
that- But I'm always just very puzzled at times when I get the amount
I'm
of
so
attention
puzzled.
that
I'm so
comes
puzzled all the
from
time.
the Middle East, the only place where all three monotheists, all monotheists
Somebody's got to go Joker mode.
Who likes Cardi B? 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 Who likes Cardi B?
All right, welcome back, guys, to the Death by Tyranny podcast. We're here on YouTube live. I don't get to go live much on YouTube anymore. Just the things that we're talking about, that Facebook, YouTube, some things aren't very friendly. I don't mind going on Facebook and talking about those things, well, because it's Facebook. I mean, what's really going to happen if I lose my Facebook? You know what I mean? So there's that. We had big news coming out in the Supreme Court. I still got to watch kind of my lingo. I just wanted to make sure that anybody would stumble across this would know that if you are not a federal healthcare worker, you no longer have to worry about the vaccine mandate. The Supreme Court officially blocked that and for the test today. So if you have employers that have been bullying you or trying to persuade you in any way to get the vaccination, you have a lot of room to give them a lot of pushback. They shouldn't be doing that anyways, but we know a lot of employers out there are very immoral and not very for the side of good. We'll just leave it at that. But the reason I wanted to go live today is because I have a question or a favor to ask of you. We do have a link where you can support the podcast. It is streamelements.com/Death by Tyranny podcast/tip if you would like to donate to the podcast. And normally I don't really heavily push the donations, but coming at the end of February, there is a big event happening down at Florida. No, I'm not talking about CPAC. I'm talking about AFPAC. Now, the reason why I bring up the donation is I don't know if I will financially be able to take the time off of work and to make it to this event. And if I am going to go to the event, I would like to have one of the, I think it's a reception ticket, or I'm not sure. Either way, you get access to the lobby before the event where you're going to have some of the VIP people be hanging out and kind of kicking it. And what I noticed in some of these events, as far as AFPAC goes, I know you're not allowed to take cameras or anything into the main event where the speakers will be speaking, but I noticed that there's not a lot of people that do a whole lot of reporting. And I'm not saying that I'm going to go in there and try to be like undercover and stir shit up. That's not what I'm talking about. I would just like to be able to attend this because I have the equipment and the ability to be able to cover AFPAC in a way that for some of the groypers and some of the people that support America First won't be able to go. I can then bring some of that information and some of that experience to you guys, and where I can take pictures or videos, I will. Hopefully, if I get to go, I can talk to some of the VIP people. I know Kai Clips said he was going down there. Kai Clips follows us over on gab.com. If you'd like to support us that way, please follow me on Death by Tyranny podcast over at gab.com. But so Kai Clips, very humble guy, very intelligent guy, very lively youth character in the America First movement. I know he will be there. I've never had a chance to meet him in person. I have interacted with him a little bit through his streams and through Gab. So that's very cool to see. I would love to get to meet some of these people in person and to have some of these conversations and maybe even make some kind of connection where we can potentially do something down the road. Another person I have not had the chance to meet in person is Dalton Clodfelter. I know he will be there as well. I've not had very much success with interacting with Dalton. I think me and him just have two different personalities, so it's very hard for us to get to communicate over social media, and I think it would be a lot easier to do in person where you don't have any of the mix-up of, the text message conversation type thing going on. I have met some of the other people, Beardson. I've met, his name slips my mind now. Ethan over at, what's that? Ethan Ralph over at the Killstream. There it goes. Had a brain fog there for a minute, but I've met Ethan Ralph over at the Killstream in person. Very nice guy in person. You wouldn't even know that he has the following that he has if you were to run into him outside of the Killstream. I met Jaden in person. Very, very humble guy. Stuck around in Springfield there for the Novax protest. So that was very cool. So I could only imagine if you get an event where all these people, where there's a lot bigger gathering, where there are more highly sought after E-celeb people, as well as potentially some Congress people, some people that are politicians, and a little bit different atmosphere as some of the E-celeb America First people. So it would just be super cool to go and chat with these people, not only for myself, but to bring that back to, like I said, some of the gropers that just won't be able to attend. I mean, some of us have situations where it's just kind of hard to up and go to Florida for, 4 or 5 hour event and then make it back. I think I'll have to drive, so I think it's like a 14-hour drive. So I had to drive there 14 hours, go to the event, drive 14 hours back. So to make it reasonable, what I would really have to do is take, 4 or 5 days off of work, head down there, get a hotel, kind of relax, get prepared for the event, go to the event, and then, have a day to kind of check out Florida. I've never been to Florida, so it's something I would like to experience, as well as I'm sure some of the people that are going to be going down there have other plans other than just the AFPAC event. I'm sure they're going to be doing other things. I believe the TS, the new streamer there on Cozy that is really into older antiques and fashion, said he was going to be doing some thrifting down there. That sounds like an excellent time. Well, I have the ability and the passion to go down there and to kind of do some of these things, and then to bring my experiences through, Gab, YouTube, Facebook, and share them with you guys. That way, if you don't get to attend AFPAC, at least you really get a kind of first-hand, second-hand look at the situation. So if you would like to donate, as of right now, I just don't think I'll be able to financially afford it. But if I was to receive any kind of donations, that's where it would go towards. So like I said, if you would like to do that, the link is on the screen. It's in white there. And if you can't financially support the stream, that's completely fine. You can also follow me over at Gab and Gab TV. Both are Death by Tyranny podcast. You can also find the podcast after the fact on Spotify if you are more of an audio-only listening guy. Now, I do have some streams that I've been kind of only putting certain places where I feel like it will reach the best audiences, and that's unfortunate that I can't say certain things on certain platforms. So you do kind of have to bounce around, but this is with everything. I do believe at some point I'll probably start a Telegram channel that's for the stream only. You can follow me over at Telegram at t.me, Death by Tyranny. But I don't really post anything. That's more so I can communicate to other people and follow other people on Telegram. And then we have the Discord link. If you guys would like to join, you can call in. I leave that open most of the time when I'm live and I'm on the podcast, I have the Death by Tyranny call-in channel open on Discord. If you want to join that at any point in time, just, obviously join the Discord. I'll bring you in, kind of get a feel for you, and if you're not a psychopath or too crazy, we can dive into whatever you guys would like to talk about. I've not had very much luck with it other than local people that I know, but it's still a good time to do. Actually, I'll run over here and check it real quick. Yeah, it doesn't look like anybody's online on the Discord, but like I said, that is there. There is an option for that. And I think it would be just a really cool thing to be able to interact with some of the Groypers that don't get a voice, that don't get to interact on social media. There's a lot of good people in the America First movement that don't do streams or podcasts, that do a lot of cool, unique things that I would like to get to know, that I would like to give them a chance to tell you about. I know there are a lot of people that are into some of the dev team work there at Cozy. I would love to get to talk to some of those people, as well as just general Groypers that have done work for people like Kai Clips in their intro, as well as Franson. Because these people, they obviously, they've probably been deleted off a lot of platforms like Twitter and things like this, so they don't have a lot of ability to spread the word of their work and their talents and their art. And so just so they know, they have that opportunity there if they would like to come on the Death by Tyranny podcast and let people know what they are capable of doing, or kind of showcasing some of their abilities. I think that would be really cool. And I know they do get shout-outs from here and there on Cozy from some of the bigger streamers like Jaden, Kai Clips, Beardson, and everything like that. But, they got other stuff going on. They got different platforms. They got different ways of what they do and their streaming style that people really enjoy, whereas mine's still kind of developing. So I have the opportunity and the ability to introduce things like this, to kind of interview and give the voice of the people behind the scenes that don't really get to interact with a lot of people very openly, that would like to do so. I know some of these people would like to stay kind of anonymous, and we can still do that. That's why I made the Discord. That way there's no phone numbers being shared. You can still just use your username. You don't have to add, or if you don't want to be on the camera, we can absolutely have it to where just your audio is brought into the podcast as well. So that is there. And like I said, if we are able to do that, then we can build this community a little bit bigger without, kind of taking away from what the other streamers are doing. We don't have to rely on Nick and Beardson to kind of have all these, big events once a year. We can kind of develop something on our own to free up them, as well as grow the community by ourselves. And I think that'd be really cool. I know I did say I was going to do an interview. Hold on. I did say I was going to do an interview with this little guy right here. Unfortunately, my internet's been kind of shitty, and I think I'm going to save that until the internet is working pretty decent. And I think it would be cool if one of the Groypers would like to do a call-in and ask the little guy some questions, and then maybe give another Groyper an opportunity to be the voice of the little guy. I think that would be kind of cool. It's silly. It's not something too vulgar, but it is still a unique way to interact with each other, because I think that's what we need. We really need a community that, with America First having, they really have to be kind of on the defense at all times. So when and where we can be offensive is with each other. So we should take that opportunity to discuss things amongst each other. That way we are able to kind of help maybe some of the newer people, or maybe even some of the older people, really understand what the movement's about and where the direction is going, as well as just overall grow that community. And I think once people start to see how many people, even without doxing, without using names, once you understand the caliber of people that are involved in America First, it will be a lot easier to introduce this to other people. you won't constantly feel like you will be an outcast for letting people know that you support Nick Fuentes and America First, because you will have seen that there are doctors, there are politicians, there are very talented artists, as well as developers, financial advisors, people into crypto. There's just all kinds of people, and there's not really a stream out there right now in the America First movement where these people have a voice, where they can come on and really showcase that talent, that uniqueness, and the broad scape of the blanket that America First covers. So I think that would be super cool. But yeah, so just get a hold of me on Discord, or like I said, over at gab.com, and let me know what you guys think about it. If you'd like to come on the channel and you just want to message me beforehand, so we kind of have a direction on where the podcast is going to go, so it's not all over the place. As well as I'm not a big streamer. I'm not very well known, so there's no need for people to get nervous or kind of clam up or get jittery when they're on the podcast. They can kind of just be open and talk about whatever they want to. I think that is a cool advantage that I have. Being a smaller podcast streaming channel doesn't really hold a lot of advantages, but if it does have one, I think that's it. It's that people don't need to feel that anxiety, that stress of coming on the podcast and being nervous. It's just two people that support the SAVE movement, talking about some of the cool things that brought us here and some of the talents and abilities that we have to offer the community. And that way we can just get the word out. But that's all I really wanted to talk about. I don't have a whole lot of time today, and like I said, I'm not really one to jump on YouTube. There's just too much going on that YouTube doesn't agree with. You can't talk about the mandate. You can't talk about January 6th. You can't talk about the election. And any other things that I would talk about is against, progressive, the Biden administration. So even if they don't have a reason to delete my channel, it's only going to give them a reason to keep watching and keep kind of fucking with me on that level. So hopefully this video not really having a underlining tone as far as events or topic, and is more so about just growing the community and getting the America First community that is behind the scenes more involved, or involved in what's going on. And hopefully we can get down to AFPAC, and we can kind of like I said, I don't think there's going to be any videotaping or pictures being taken during the speakers, but I can absolutely go there and kind of share my experience and what happened after the fact, as well as I do believe you are allowed to have cameras and stuff like that in the lobby, as far as the VIP guest and everything waiting. And I think if I miss the opportunity to go to the reception before the event, I probably just won't go, just because I don't know. I mean, I guess I probably would still go, but I think there's a lot more potential for content to be made if I was able to go to the reception. Then I could talk to, some of the bigger people there, and maybe potentially set things up to have conversations after the event. So that's what we're going to try to do. I think that's it. I got to get the kids on the bus. Just wanted to keep in touch with all the people that only watch on YouTube. I know I'm not over here a whole lot. If you guys do want to check out the last podcast, right now it's only up on gab.com. I've not had a chance to stream it over to Spotify for the audio-only version. But if you would like to watch that, there are probably one or two podcasts on Gab TV that is not on YouTube, just because of the topics. We did a good conversation on whether or not I think you can be born gay. So if you want to check that out, you're just going to have to head over to Gab TV. That's just all there is to it. With as far as the vaccine mandates and the Supreme Court case goes today or yesterday when they blocked it, I'm going to do a bigger podcast on that. I kind of did a smaller one on Facebook. Like I said, I don't think that doing that podcast on YouTube would be a good idea. I think they would probably find a way to give me that third strike. But the only reason I'm not going to upload what I posted on Facebook is because that podcast was more so that the people that follow me on Facebook are aware. I know a lot of people are aware of it, but there are just some, the boomers and millennials that don't really pay attention that may not have caught this. I don't want them to have one more day where they go into work with the stresses of thinking that they are going to have to be mandated to get this vaccine. And I promise you that anywhere and everywhere that they can, they will still try to manipulate you and bullying you into getting the vaccine. And so I just wanted something out there for them, reaching out saying just don't get the vaccine. They have no legs to stand on now. We're going to keep fighting it. And now you have the information and the Supreme Court backing to be able to fight and not get the vaccine. But we will do a more broad podcast on that topic. But I would also like to have at least a couple of people come on and share their experiences with their employers. They don't have to say their name, but I would like to know the employer's name so they can come on and talk about the way that their companies were bullying them and trying to manipulate them into getting the vaccine, and how much it has changed since the blocking of the Supreme Court ruling has taken place. Because in my opinion, the employers aren't going to say shit. They're not going to let you know that they blocked it. They're going, if you ask them, they're going to say, well, we don't know, so we're just going to keep going forward like it's going to happen, and they're going to see how far they can push into this mandate. I'd almost guarantee you that's what it's going to be. If it wasn't going to be that, you wouldn't have had the employers have these meetings and tell these employees that they are going to just go ahead with the mandate because it looks like it's going to happen. They might have had a meeting and said, we don't know what's going to happen, so just, be prepared to fight it or get your exemptions or whatever you have to do if you really don't want the vaccine. But that's not what they did. They came out and they said, hey, look, you might as well go get vaccinated because this is what it is. And now, the people that told you to wait, the people that told you not to get it, do not comply. We've been vindicated because we told you that this was not going to be able to be pushed through the Supreme Court. It did get a little bit further than I thought it was going to go. And then, of course, we still had the Supreme Court back that federal healthcare workers be made to get the vaccination, which I think that's probably not the last we're going to hear about that as well. And I'd also like to get people on to talk about their perspective on the worker shortage, because as far as I'm concerned, this is all a fabrication, and I think it has a deeper meaning. I don't think it's just about selling vaccinations. I think it is about displacing the true American. I think it's about placing the people that are willing to push back, the people that's willing to fight against the federal government. That's why you see people push so hard for the punishment of the people on January 6th, because they do not want people like that in America anymore. They want those people gone and erased. They want to be able to put in mandates and not have any pushbacks. So I think that having a conversation about this, what your guys' perspective is on, do you think the worker shortage was manufactured? Because I do. I think that the reason why illegal immigrants are flooding over our borders and nothing is being done about it is not because we aren't capable of doing anything about it, because I've said this 1,000 times now. Biden is absolutely capable of stopping the mass influx of illegal immigrants. Obama did it. He knows it. He has access to Obama. If he wanted to implement things to slow this down at the very least, he could, but he is not. And one of the big arguments they have on their side is, well, we don't have the workers, so we need the illegal immigrants. We do not, and we should not have a worker shortage to begin with. This was all manufactured through the pandemic to manipulate our economy, to displace the American people, and we have to be aware of this, because if you're not aware of it, you don't really know the evil and the mindset behind what the federal government was trying to do. But yeah, like I said, I got to get off here and get the kids on the bus. So I'll talk to you guys later. Like I said, if you can, If you are generous enough and in a financial position where you can donate, just I'm always fucked up when I'm trying to use that there, right there. Stream Elements / Death by Tyranny podcast / tip. You can donate. Anything that's donated will be used for me to try to make it down to Florida to go to AFPAC, so I can bring some of that information and some of the content that I am able to capture down there to the people that are unable to attend. And at the very least, follow me over on Gab, join the Discord server so you can be a part of these conversations. Because like I said, that's really where it's all about. It's about the community interacting and growing the community so we have a better footplant and the foundation to fight off some of this tyrannical government and some of the things that the Biden administration has yet to bring to the table. Because I promise you there is more to come. There is more they are wanting and willing to force on the American people, and it just keeps getting worse. If you think the vaccine mandate is the worst thing that the Biden administration has thrown out on the table, you are incorrect. I promise you within the next 5 months, you will see something bigger, badder, and worse, and we need the biggest, best community that we can have to be able to fight this and be able to spread the information, as well as, like I said, just kind of making those connections so that we can make podcasts like mine better, so we can put out our art, our propaganda. And I know propaganda is kind of a naughty word these days, but it's the truth. We need art, and we need, posters and streams and podcast and entertainment out there pushing our message just as much as they're pushing theirs. That's why they're winning, because that's where they have their kind of mass influx of information being pushed onto the youth that's very imprintable. And everywhere you look, you see a fucking queer rainbow flag, and it's not good. We need to make sure that everywhere, that for every rainbow flag that's in a school, there's children saying prayers in school. For every rainbow flag you see driving down your local street, you should see an America First flag driving down your street. So we're going to try to make that possible through this podcast and podcast alike. But that's it for today, you guys. Stay safe. I love you guys. God bless. America First. Peace, y'all.